Okay, now these are free learning curves, but because you have to understand it before you start training. That's the problem is a lot of people, you just training without even understand it. So if you talk about mind and body, okay, your body, you're training. What about your mind? You're blank, you don't even know anything, right? So if your mind, you know, how are you going to connect that? So therefore, you have to understand that everything you should learn, so understand the principle, the theory, and then you put it into your exercises, and then you will gradually building up your energy, right? Your energy, and then that's what I'm saying is the vitality, shall we say? Okay. The vitality, and then also
the question that Dr. Worcel has is this: if we had knowledge about an organ that we have affected, for example, our kidneys, should we perform the practice differently in the related season, for example, in winter?
Yes, good point. Of course, like even not just the seasonal cycle, is the 12-hour cycle inside our cell, isn't it? Yeah. So because if the seasons, the peak of the season or the peak of the hours with the energy, the particular organ chi at its peak, of course, that would be the best time for the treatment. But sometimes may not so, you know, is so accurate in time, isn't it? So of course, it would be better to deal with all those, but in this winter time, like say the kidney. So that's why kidney, if you go back to the hospital, you check it, okay, you will find that in the winter time, there's a lot of kidney or kidney relating illnesses surfacing. Okay, so of course, that means that particular seasonal energy, the environmental climatic energy is affecting us, right? So that means it's telling us to be more careful. So even when we do the training, right, in the winter time, the training better focus, right, on building up, you know, the health status of the kidney, right? The kidney, right? So for example, if you are body clockwise, okay, yeah, we have to obviously the body will tell you, funny enough, right? Like these days, I've got quite a number of, you know, patients and students phone me up. Now, if you happen to suddenly wake up between 3 and 5 o'clock in the morning, right? I mean, you got the bug, COVID-19. Because what happened is 3 to 5, right, is the energy going through the lung organs, right? If you're clear of it, you sleep right through. But if you suddenly, sometime you might have suddenly jump up, you can have a nightmare or whatever. It's between 3 and 5. Right? That's why the circulation of the chi would tell you, right? So when I'm helping patients, let's just say with that lung organ, I'll tell you set an alarm clock. I know people got to go to work, but if you're going to exercise, it would be better to exercise. If it's a lung now, you know, COVID-19 will attacking the lung, you boost your lung, the vitality, right? The immune system to boost the, you know, the lung energy to resist it. So 3 or 5 o'clock, right? And then get up to train. Even after that, go back to sleep before you go back to work and things like that. Yes, it's very important, but sometimes you just you can afford that kind of time. So it would be better just to do it, right? Whenever you can. It's better than you don't do it at all. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it's so interesting, and I am thinking, for example, like one day contains all the seasons. Depends of the hour. It's like an year. Each day is like an year because depends of the hour of the day. You are living a different season. I don't know if I am clear. Dr. Willis, can you ¿me estás entendiendo, Dr. Willis, lo que quiero decir?
Sí, Jimena. Yes, I think she has a very nice, interesting idea or concept, telling that maybe in one day, because of the internal clock and the meridian chi, how it goes during the day of the cycle, she says that in one day we have all the seasons, because she related to what you were saying about the five seasons, 5 elements, 5 organs, chi. So she's saying that how interesting that we have in one day, in one cycle, a year.
Yeah, I don't really understand that, but I'm sure, you know, if Dr. Willis has obviously as a medical professions, and you look at things obviously in a professional way, but I don't understand the question of when we mean one day for 1 year and things like that.
I mean,
Maybe.
if in one year we have the five stations, I mean, winter, summer,
Oh, the 5
autumn.
seasons. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, the seasons. Sorry, the seasons. In one day, because the 5 elements go round in one day.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
It will be like a kind of microcosm,
Yes,
macrocosm
okay.
inside a microcosm.
Yes. Good question. Yeah, you can say that, I suppose, because the microcosmic energy is inside, so it's like a very small energy. But obviously, the 5 seasons is external, so macrocosm is much more powerful, isn't it? So of course, anything outside changes, we're affecting our inside. That's why we train as the receptor, right, to take the energy of that, to boost our inside. Yes, I can understand what you're trying to say. Thank you, Dr. Wursel. I think it's very interesting, and it's very true as well, isn't it? So there's so many things that we don't understand at the moment. We need a lot more research. We need a more data, isn't it? Very interesting.
Yes. Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, so maybe next time when you have something, and you write an article, and I have a look. It'll be very interesting. Thank you, from looking at from the Western medicine point of view, because I'm also a student. Don't forget, I don't train Western medicine, but I'm interested in looking at how you will write it all down. And yes, if you can do that, please, that would be. Thank you. Send it over to me. I'll have a read.
Thank you, Professor. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Professor. And also what you say about the organs, diseases during the seasons, the change of the seasons, that's really true, because we observe in clinical hospitals that, for example, patients with kidney problems, they are worst in winter. I mean, calculus, kidney calculus, or cystitis. And myself, in my family, there is a story of heart disease, and everybody that went through a heart attack or stroke or whatever, it was in summer. It's really a coincidence, but you can think it was a coincidence, but now knowing about the Chinese medicine and what you're telling us, you can see total synchronicity in the knowledge, in the knowledge that you give us a lecture every Sunday. So it's really interesting.
It will be very helpful if you actually, because I can't go into the hospital and try get out all the data records, but if you can, that would be really helpful. You can really do some data collection of it and put it in and publishing it, so we can act, because the Chinese are publishing it for 5,000 years, but because it's different culture and different language, and obviously people just not interested in it, but it's all experience, isn't it? So maybe you can help in the future, even aid research. You can put do some more data and then comparisons and thing, and put some article and publishing it. It will be really interesting. Dr. Willis, yes.
Thank you. I think we have a lot of work ahead to do.
Oh yeah.
To get in a common ground, and also just to say what you were talking about, the crystals and metals. That, for example, we, Dr. Wursel and I, we are both psychiatrists,
Yeah.
And we have a lot of, we've seen a lot of patients with a lot of emotional disorders, like, for example, bipolar disease, here we call. And one of the treatments for people that have gone through bipolar disease,
Bipolar, yeah.
They have like lithium as part of their treatment. So you can see that there are a lot of things in common, and we could integrate.
Yes.
And
yes.
of course, learn a lot from the methodology. You have to do the diagnosis with the 5 elements and 5 organs, and it will be very helpful for us to know these things, because it opens our mind and our possibilities of treatment.
Yes, that's why I keep on saying to a lot of my medical students are just saying that all medicines are good. Doesn't matter Western medicine, Chinese medicine, Indian medicine, African medicine, they're all good. They're all there. Different race would have their medical knowledge, isn't it? So we just try to, shall we say, go collect them. And for one particular reason, it's to try to help the patients. That is, and obviously the egg research, I set up the egg research to try to collect all different type of medicine. At the end of the day, we might be able to help the patients. If the Western medicine, everything yin and yang, the Western medicine, 50% successful rate, 50% failure. So it's a Chinese medicine, right? External medicine, 50% good, 50% no good. Even internal now, 50% work, right? 50% doesn't work. So what I'm trying to do in egg research is, okay, if a patient come in, all right, because the Western medicine, you know, a lot of time that, you know, the drug is powerful, but you do need some time poison against poison. So we can use that to, you know, to help the patient first, and then use the herbs, right? The herbs to, shall we say, revitalize, because it's too powerful. Sometimes, a lot of the time, the Western medicine, they're all chemicals. They're too powerful. They kill the good cell as well. Yes, they kill the bad cell, right? But also they kill the good cell. So after taking that, so we use the Chinese herbal medicine, right, to revitalize the, you know, the good cell, and then pass out, you know, all the toxicity in the blood. And then after that, we can use internal methodology to naturally balancing it, induce the natural body hormones and the natural body medicines to completely cleanse the process. So that's what I'm trying to set up this that's why thank you for all the doctors and medical professionals join us as a team, so we can put our head together, try to do something for mankind. Thank you very much for Dr. Willis and Dr. Wursel.
Yes, Dr. Willis, thank you very much for confirming what Professor is saying from the Chinese data, and you confirm from the Western medicine data about the seasonal illnesses. So interesting to hear that.
Oh, Dr. Willis, while you're there, may I ask you a question on that? You might put some time into it, because it's been on my research all the time. I don't have time to, you know, to go into it. What I found that now is about, again, the macrocosmic energy now, right? Full moon.
Oh.
Now the moon, and we got collecting the sun energy, that's fine. But the full moon, what I always, you know, my 17 years ago, my dissertation, I already asked the question. I never get the answer, because, you know, I mean, maybe you can help me on that. Full moon, why is it there's a lot of activity in psychiatric hospital?
I like your question.
It is true, yeah.
Yes.
You know, because we all heard about that, but obviously we need data, and I can't get into the psychiatric hospital to get the data, but it looks like the gravity, isn't it? Because in the ancient methodology, the gravitational force of the moon and the earth pass. So in my book as well, I talk about the tidal wave, because every day the tidal comes and tide comes in, tide goes out, because the passing of the gravity affecting right? Affecting the whole planet movement of the water. And that was 2/3 of the planet's filled with water. Okay. Now that means us microcosmic, there's 76% inside the water. So if that kind of energy, cosmic energy, can move such a massive area of water, of course it will affecting us.
Oh,
Right?
of course it does. And imagine that there are moons affecting our cycle, reproductive cycle.
Yeah.
And every month we have a menstruation. I don't know how you spell it okay in English, but
Yes.
no wonder that in psychiatry sometimes you say like popularly a lunatic. From the moon, it's Luna in Spanish, and they call lunatic
Lunatic.
because yes, lunatic.
Lunatic,
So
yeah.
it comes from all the things that affects from our emotions because of the tides of the moon. Because
wonder.
as you say,
Yeah.
we are water, and edema also affects our brain.
So that
When
means
we retain liquid.
I heard a similar story, but it's from a veterinarian, a very famous veterinarian, a TV veterinarian from Dutch, from a Dutch veterinarian that lives in America. He says it's so weird when there's something with the moon, the animals react so weird. And then his son was saying that, oh, you're just crazy, you know, it's you're imagining. No. Every time that's when the moon is coming or something like that, the animals behave very strangely.
okay, so
And also there are more cases of insomnia when there's full moon.
yeah, insomnia.
And
Yeah.
I think it has to do with what you always say about pineal gland and
Yes.
pituitary gland. It has
Yes, yes.
that relationship because
Yes,
they all release melatonin and serotonin,
Yes, it's
and
serotonin,
the
yeah.
pituitary, all the it's like the mother
Mother gland, master
of
gland.
the other, the
Body
upper sentient.
and
So
dantian,
it has
yeah.
to do with all of that. And of
So,
course,
yes.
we have a lot to
I know.
still research.
I know. But at least I think what I'll start now, tomorrow, I'm gonna get more garlics and things, you know, get more garlics and things, because that means when the full moon come, the vampire won't come to me, won't I? The werewolf wouldn't come in. all this, you know, all these, you know, monsters all come from full moon, isn't it? There must be something to the connection there.
Oh, but the advantage you have is that you have like 4,000 records written, so you can talk about it.
Yeah, good. Next time.
Thank you,
good.
Professor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.
Professor,
Good
hi.
evening.
This is
Oh.
Lockwood Young. I just
Hey,
did
Dr. Young. Dr. Young, hi. How are you?
I just did a brief Google search of heart attacks and
Yes.
kidney disease on Google.
Yes.
And in American literature, an article in 2020 said heart attacks are higher during the winter and summer.
Yes.
And then as far as kidney disease, let me see. I took a picture of that. Let me see if I can find it. Or kidney stones, anyway,
Yes.
if I can find it. There was a seasonal incidence. I think it was highest in the winter for men, and in the summer, more women have kidney stone.
Wow. Wow.
But overall, men have 3 times as many men have kidney stones compared to women.
Wow. Wow. Thank you,
So
Dr.
this-
Young. So
yes,
very
so
useful. Very useful.
Yeah, I don't know how it correlated with, you know, the Naidan internal medicine.
Yes. Yes. So there's a lot of things that we need more data, and gradually, obviously, even the Naidan, obviously, a different hormone controlling. It may be the kidney, maybe the adrenaline. There's a few different hormones there, isn't it? So how are we going to trigger those few Naidan or hormones to regulate, you know, the kidney So that's why you have to go into the spontaneous, because the spontaneous reaction is a natural healing, isn't it? So only the body know which type to induce, isn't it? But obviously we have to have a lot of data and things, and then we can tie it all up together. I know the spontaneous is definitely will help, but a lot of people cannot reach the spontaneous reaction, isn't it? So what about the conscious methodology? So that's another, obviously, more research to be done through exercises. How are we going to stimulate the particular the dan, you know, the night dan, obviously, 開竅取丹啊，開竅取丹, yeah. So is how we're going to open up the glands, and which glands is relating to what kind of biological reaction or hormones. So that's we're still working on. I'm still working on it, and then we can pinpoint what type of methodology we can obviously teach the patients, and when after they go home, after they, you know, after the clinics, right, and they go home and they practice that and try to induce that type of hormones or Naidan out. So yes, there's a lot of work to do. Thank you for helping us, Dr. Young. Very interesting.
Oh, you're welcome. I found that picture on the kidney thing. Let me correct myself. It said the calcium in the urine, which is related to calcium stones.
Yes.
In men, it was high during the summer, and in women during the early winter.
Oh.
And then men have only twice, not 3 times, only twice as many stones as women. So that's the correct thing. So on the British Medical Journal, apparently.
I wonder if it's actually something to do with the men drinking too much.
I don't know if you have an explanation.
Yeah, so yes, we have a lot of work to do, isn't it? So, thank you for joining our team.
Oh, my pleasure. I find it interesting. I wonder if Nancy can put on your white chalkboard, enlarged picture of that. I had trouble logging in and I missed your white chalkboard there.
Again, yes,
Please.
Sure.
yeah, Paul, and give back the picture for Dr. Young, please.
There you go. Can you see it? Paul is sharing. Okay.
Put a whole frame. You can cut my picture as well, so maybe easier. All right. Okay.
Yeah, that would be nice if you give me the whole frame.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My
Yes.
pleasure.
Good.
Got it.
Oh.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good. Okay. Good.
Thank you very much,
Right.
everyone. And we'll see you next week.
Good. Okay.
Yay. Thank you.
All right, thank you,
Bye.
Dr. Young.
Good
All
night.
right, thank you, everyone. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Professor. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.